An incel called Ian has agreed to meet me, but he doesn't want to film at his home. So I'm asking an AI text-to-image generator how I can dress our studio space to look like his bedroom. Even artificial intelligence has bought into the idea that incels are inherently dangerous.
According to that, it's about... This one goes around about here. Jeans are over here.
Ian doesn't want to be identified because of the stigma around incels. Instead, I have an LED mask on which you can display any picture. So I've asked Ian to send me a photo of how his ideal face would look.
Does this look anything like your bedroom?
Not at all, really. But this is a bit more Charles Manson serial killerish than I'm used to.
Why are you wearing that particular picture on your mask?
It represents an image of myself that would maneuver through the world much more easily.
Do you think life would be easier for you if you looked like that?
I think life would be a lot more effortless if I looked like this. Whereas in absence of a face like this, it's filled with more adversity and struggle and effort.
Incels describe themselves as subhuman. Why would they describe themselves as subhuman?
I think that in this world, if you are unattractive, if you're poor, if you're autistic, you are going to experience this world as if you were a subhuman. From birth till now, you are constantly receiving data from other people about who you are, about what you look like, how you sound like, your value. And so to be asked the question, well, what happened? You know, what magical event happened? Nothing. It's always been this. It always will be like this. Actually, probably even worse as you get older.
Have you given up any chance of romance?
Even that's a weird question. Have you given up? You can't give up what you never had. It's always been over.
What do you think are the biggest misconceptions about incels?
I get very angry when people associate the community with violence because, number one, demographically, this is a community that is overwhelmingly more likely to be the recipient of violence than to be the one doing it. Overwhelmingly. This is a community that is overwhelmingly neurodivergent, low income, bad mental health, and it's like, these are the people who are more often these subjects of violence. So I find that to be a very weird distortion of reality.
We've been told that part of the core identity of an incel is misogyny.
Well, I find violence reprehensible. I think most incels live their lives in fear of violence. Most incels live their life in fear of harassment, of shame, of random acts of violence from strangers in the street. People who run incel forums are genuinely very crazy people. It gives the illusion of like wide community consensus and participation.
How lonely do you feel?
I feel profoundly atomized, profoundly lonely, and profoundly without community. And I wish I could say I was alone. I wish I could say that was like a unique experience, but it feels like an awful lot of men feel that these days. To such an extent where we're now forming communities around loneliness. We're forming community around the lack of community.
What do you think the reason for that is?
It's happening to people at scale. So it needs to be a structural problem. If it's happening to men at scale, then something fundamentally is going wrong. And it's not just incels making a bunch of poor decisions.
It's clear that young men don't suddenly become incels overnight.
Is there a progression? Do people try other ways of getting into the dating game before they take the black pill?
Of course. Everyone follows the exact same pipeline, really. They dress nicer, they cut their hair, they do all the things that people tell them they should do. And it doesn't work. That's step one on the incel pipeline.